This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. I'm here with Techno ROKU. Since 2006, they've been offering a suite of IT asset management services to secure your data, maximize value recovery, and ensure eco-friendly disposal. I'm joined here with the president, founder, Nidal. Thanks so much for joining us here today.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.
I'm going to start off a little bit about yourself. I mean, you were formerly educated at Wayland University. You trained in technology information systems in the Air Force. I mean, you're really completing 2 degrees over nearly a decade while serving your country with a focus on service as well as leadership. You founded Techno. Tell me a little bit how this passion for tech started with you.
Well, after my time in service, came back to Colorado. Well, after the Air Force, I had a couple of jobs in the Washington, D.C. area. I finished my career in the Pentagon, worked for SAIC, then a small private company afterwards. Moved back to Colorado in 2006, and then an old high school buddy of mine approached me about the idea of recycling electronics. And at first I thought that sounds incredibly boring. Why would I want to do that after my career of traveling and education and Air Force? But I looked into the industry and I thought, look, this is about the environment, it's about technology, and it's about data security. Those are 3 things that were important to me because I did a lot of national security with the intelligence community as well as the Department of Defense. So it's a kind of good hybrid. And at that time I was young, single, full of energy. So I thought, why not? Let me get into it. And so I called my buddy, and within 2 hours, I saw this vision of Techno ROKU, what it could be, this full life cycle, so much more than just recycling. There's a lot more to it than just that. So I got really excited. I called him, and literally within 2 hours, we registered with the Secretary of State in Colorado, got into business, knowing nothing about the industry, and just dove right in.
True entrepreneur, right?
100%. That's
and
right.
Here we are today. I mean, IT, information technology. I mean, that's a broad professional category covering many functions, including building networks, safeguarding data, and even troubleshooting computer problems. Why is it important for consumers out there, companies out there, to go with a company like yours that really does all that under one roof?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say though, under one roof, everybody likes to service, to work with one vendor, one provider. So we're certified, we're experienced, and we do it all. Anything, we keep it out of the landfill. We know how to refurbish equipment. We know how to bring things back to life. We keep it out of the landfill. But one of the most important things, well, 2 of the most important things is that not only are we keeping it out of the landfill, but we guarantee 100% data security. Because of my national security background, I understand the importance of protecting your identity. Whether it's an individual from home who has private pictures, personal videos, credit card information, whatever that may be, they should be as protected as a financial institution or a medical facility that might have a HIPAA compliance. In a financial institution, you have PCI and different compliances. In the government, DoD, all data and information should be equally protected and respected. And it's kind of a joke, but not really. I tell everybody, I don't want to end up in jail, so we're going to do everything the right way. And to make sure we do everything the right way, I've been in touch with the NSA directly about proper data destruction and how to do things properly. And we have 3 different methods of data destruction, from shredding, degaussing, and erasure. And we do all 3, not only plant-based, but we could do it at the client's facility if they want to witness it. And that includes all of the different methods. And I take it very seriously. Not only do I want to protect the environment because it's important for our health and our safety, but the information and the data security is all critical. There's a lot of moving parts in what we do.
I was just going to say that. I was going to say there's a lot of moving parts I'm listening to right here. And every size of company now relies on computers really to some degree. Right. When systems are down, I imagine an entire company can be really stopped in its tracks. I mean, is that the case for many? What are some of the examples you've seen?
Of companies being stopped in the track for the...
Yeah.
So we don't do too much of that network type infrastructure. We do some of it. So if a company is stopped in the track because the technology goes down, they're essentially paralyzed, depending on the mission and purpose of what they do. Okay. Whether their internet service provider is down or the servers go down, you're literally paralyzed as a company. We're in the information age. We're not in the old days where you can send different types of messages. We are in the information age. Even us here sitting there doing this interview with technology, if you're not set up, you're not able to publish what you're working on, you're paralyzed. You're just simply down. So everyone always jokes about it. The technology is working great, you're not thinking nothing about it. But if it's down, you hate it. It's like that Office Space movie. You want to take that printer out and beat it with a bat.
Wow. I mean, like you said earlier, these are full life cycle professional technology services that you provide, and you have many certifications that prove your level of professionalism. Share with me some of those and why that's important.
Well, it's important to me to show people it's not just saying, hey, look at the certifications that we have in the wall. It's about saying, hey, trust us. We do take it seriously. We go through regular annual audits for all of our certifications. I also like to show the supplier side, the veteran-owned, the minority-owned, the small business. First of all, it helps us with government contracts, and we have a lot of government contracts from the federal space, state level, municipal contracts, local state contracts. So that helps us with being awarded different contracts, but there is a level of comfort and certification from these different certifications that people are very comfortable with. But on the environmental and data security side, we have R2, we have e-stewards, we have ISO 9001, ISO 14001, ISO 45001, all these different certifications that essentially says we are doing things the right legal way to properly dispose of your electronic waste, to keep out of the landfill, to protect the environment, and to protect your data. So it's very important to showcase that. And now, a lot of government agencies and different corporations, if you want to service them and be awarded a contract from them, they require that. So it is important for business, but it's important for me to tell the world, you know what, we're actually doing everything right. It's important for me to have that right reputation to say, if I'm going to protect your equipment, you have my word that we're going to do things right. It's not enough for me to give you my word. I have to rely on my people. So we're constantly training, constantly checking out all of our staff to say we are doing exactly what we say we do. So it starts with the certifications to say we're doing it the right way.
I mean, really, as a company, we know we're going to rely on technology. Why is it important we do it right from the beginning? I mean, is strategic planning vital in your consulting, making sure you're not only building for today, but where the company's going to go as well?
Absolutely. You always got to look ahead, and that's where the asset management comes in. You got to look at the life of the equipment. You might have a small office, only 10 employees, or you might have 100 employees, or you might have a couple thousand employees. So I have some major corporate, Fortune clients that have tens of thousands of employees. So you have to look ahead to make sure the life cycles are there. You have to know, okay, this equipment is about to fail. We need to refurbish it or fix it or replace it. So you also have to look ahead and make sure not only the life cycle of the equipment, but the security of the equipment.
I mean, the technology infrastructure is complex. We're talking data centers, networks, hosting, cloud services. Are all these areas your team is ready to set up, not only for companies, but even for people that use this kind of thing in their homes today?
100%. You talk about data centers. So we do a lot of different types of data center services, from decommissioning, migrations, relocations, auditing, data destruction. There's a lot of different services that we provide. Matter of fact, I am personally going to Brazil next week to do a big data center project for a Fortune 50 client. It's very, not like to go to these certain jobs, not just because of the location, of course that's a little fun. So, but because we want to showcase, we want to show the customers how serious that we take this. So again, whether you have a home job, you're an individual home person doing your own business, or you're an employee working remotely from home, or you're in an office environment, you have to have the right infrastructure to keep you working.
I mean, not only managing our data, but also securing our data. I mean, it really should be at the top of the list for any company. Why can data be at risk, and what are some of the maybe nightmare scenarios that you probably come across?
Oh, funny question. Well, not funny question. It's a scary question. I'm going to give you a real life example. JP Morgan about 3 years ago hired a company to move out all their servers and their hard drives. Come to find out, this company didn't know nothing about data destruction. They were not in the industry, had zero certifications. Millions upon millions of JP Morgan's clients, their information got exposed. Why? Because their equipment ended up in public auction websites. They were not destroyed. They had the asset tax still on intact. Major lawsuit. They ended up settling, I forgot the amount, like $47 million settlement they had to pay because they didn't do things a proper way. So people say, well, why should we pay to recycle our equipment, because you're going to make money in the back end and refurbish it anyway? Well, data security, there's a lot of moving parts, or the labor. There's a lot of steps that goes into protecting the equipment. If you want to save a few dollars, be prepared to spend a hell of a lot more if your data leaks.
pays to do it right the first time.
Pays to do it
trying
right.
to save a penny here and there, and you're going to lose a pound later.
100%.
Never good business.
100%.
When safeguards fail, I mean, data is lost. As your name states, Techno Rescue. Why call you when disaster recovery is needed and business continuity may be at stake?
At this point, I have 18 years under my belt showing the world that I can do things the right way. I have a whole list of clients that trust me. Clients that I've earned 5-year contracts 10 years ago, and they're still working with me because we've done that good of a job. Our certifications are true. They're not BS. They're not fake. I'm not saying other companies are fake, but they are fake, and I stand behind that. I'm also very transparent. What do I mean by that? If I tell a customer, hey, I'm going to do A, B, and C for you, if they're like, come to my facility. I'll give you a tour. And I do that all the time because I want people to know exactly what we're doing, how we're doing it. See it for yourself. Like I always tell my wife, I don't want to buy clothes online. I want to put that jacket on. I want to try them pants on. Come to my facility. Let me show you how we do the operation, how we keep the equipment out of the landfill, but more importantly, how do we protect your data. So I do feel that after all this time, after 18 years of service, that I am a trusted resource.
Speaking of your facility and walking the front doors, I see actual laptops and hardware. I didn't expect to really see that. This is more than just data management. We're talking, this is IT hardware. Even after we are done with it, retiring our hardware responsibly and efficiently is how we really all can do our part. Explain to me why green matters.
Well, green matters, we have to protect our environment. There's a lot of electronic devices that have chemicals that if we don't manage it properly, it could be very dangerous for the environment. We're talking about the soil, groundwater, and air. So if we don't responsibly recycle the equipment, there's going to be so much chemicals that we could potentially accumulate inside of our bodies. That could be very unhealthy. I have personally visited different countries and done tours of different locations, whether it be Israel, Palestine, different places in Africa and Europe, and I've seen how some countries manage their electronics, and it's not a coincidence that those same areas have a high concentration of cancer patients because it's not properly handled. So we do things the right way to keep things out of the landfill to protect us, but the equipment that you're talking about that you saw in the front, at the same time, not only is it more sustainable to refurbish, because I'm a big believer in reuse before recycle. It's more sustainable, it utilizes less energy than bringing the equipment down. So not only is it more sustainable to refurbish equipment, but not everybody in the world can afford a brand new Dell.com or HP, or not to knock on any of those different OEMs and manufacturers, but not everybody can afford that. So it's an opportunity for people to purchase secondhand equipment at a reduced rate, not only for individuals, but businesses. There's a lot of small to mid-sized companies that we outfit their entire network infrastructure with refurbished equipment. I'm talking about servers, all the PCs, all the cables and runs. So we not only refurbish that equipment, but we could deploy it, install it, and manage it, and run an entire second-hand used network infrastructure. There's a lot of businesses out there running with no problems, and yes, they all have a warranty.
Excellent. I mean, from retiring equipment to data destruction, you ensure sensitive information is irretrievably destroyed, really. I mean, that definitely provides peace of mind. I mean, ensuring that we're not vulnerable out there with that data, I would say.
100%. And to take it a step further, I voluntarily, this is not a requirement for any certifications, every single year I hire a third-party forensic company to come and evaluate my data destruction methods. And every single year they pick a random load of of hard drives, different types of hard drives, and they have never, after 12 years of doing this, been able to retrieve a single bit of data. So when I say I guarantee you 100% data destruction, I mean I guarantee you 100% data destruction.
It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
You are not going to retrieve anything. If it's in my hands, it's a wrap.
Nidal, obviously this is a company that basically matters. You want to be out there helping other companies, securing them, protecting them, making sure they're growing their company.
Right.
Your story alone, it's not easy when a company's out there trying to get started. Tell me about that.
Well, I appreciate that question. So I started the company 18 years ago after serving the Air Force and a couple jobs after that. Started the company with an old buddy of mine who's not with the company anymore. First year we had an amazing year. We actually profited the first year. I was like, oh my God, I could do this, not knowing anything about the industry. I was so proud. Second year we started growing and profited once again. Third year, we expanded to a different location, and I was on top of the world. And I'll admit, I got a little bit cocky. I thought it was going to be a $100 million company and this and that. Then the reality check hit me with a bus. Went through an embezzlement. My mom was diagnosed with cancer. I was losing accounts left and right because I had no systems, I had no controls, I didn't have the right infrastructures. I learned that I can't just trust anybody and everybody who's giving me a high fives because I was doing such a good job. So as much as I used to blame everybody else for all the problems that I had, at the end of the day, I had to accept accountability because I was not paying attention to everything. So I lost everything. I had to downsize. I had to terminate everybody. I had to get rid of one of the locations. But I was too determined. I was like, there's no way I'm not going to allow this company to fail. And there were many mornings where I hated to wake up. Not that I wanted to die or anything like that, but I hated to face that specific reality. But I was too determined. And at one point, I even lived in my warehouse for 2 weeks. Well, for one, I didn't have gas money. I couldn't afford gas money because I had lost everything. But so I'd get up at 4:30 in the morning. I'd sneak in the gym up to the street. I'd take a shower, come right back in and get to work. And I was just hustling and hustling. So for years of sweat equity, just working my butt off. I'd get out of the office. I'd put on my suit, pretending like I was on top of the world. I'd win accounts that I had no business winning. Then I'd go back to the warehouse tired and sore and put on my jeans and t-shirt, do the work, get in the vehicle, pick up the equipment, come in and this and that, work. Did it for so long that I can hire somebody for a couple hours a day to help me, then 4 hours a day. And I just slowly built up and grown. And eventually I was able to buy lunch. I lost a lot of weight during that time, So just for years, just building up. And, I've been blessed because after so many years of fighting, I managed to get, really good accounts. Now we have multiple locations, and we just merged with a big company. And now we have 6 U.S. locations and a headquartered office in New York and executive office in Tampa Bay. But we have offices in Nevada, Colorado, of course, Texas, Chicago, Atlanta, and Maryland. So I've been very fortunate. But there was a dark period where I had nothing. It was a nasty embezzlement. I got robbed and ripped off. And as angry as I was at everybody else, I have to accept my accountability. But I worked my butt off for years, and here I am. There we go.
You're a business owner that understands entrepreneur exhaustion. You've been there and done that.
Yes.
You understand what it's like to be vulnerable, and basically that's why company owners now trust you. They know you've been there, and you understand what it's like to keep a company afloat out there. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. On the website, you can see all the service they provide, and we've touched on just a few of them for you here. Be it asset management, data destruction, or anything really IT related, really give them a call. As you transition from maybe this old equipment to some new equipment, do it right, get rid of the old stuff, bring in the new stuff. With processing facilities located across the nation. Once again, that is Techno Rescue. Secure, sustainable, superior service. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.